Get ready for a rough ride in 2023. The supply chain crisis is about to escalate, and we are all going to feel it. We've already seen how supply chain disruptions can mess with our access to goods and push prices through the roof. But it seems like 2023 is going to be even worse. The past few years have been a real wake-up call for businesses and consumers alike. Who would have thought that something as seemingly small as shipping delays could have such a huge impact on our lives? Bill Stewart, the new president of Supply Chain Solutions at UPS, says that companies are still reeling from last year's problems, and there's a lot of anxiety in the air. The last 2 years have really tested our ability to adapt to risks, but with high inflation and new downturn on the horizon, looks like consumers will be cutting back on spending. And if you thought things were bad now, just wait and see what lies ahead. Number 10. Labor and product shortages. Transportation challenges and product shortages are already happening, and it's only going to get worse as the year goes on. So brace yourself for more portholes, reduced container and freight availability, and even higher prices. New bottlenecks may emerge, so it's important to stay on top of the situation and be prepared for anything. The supply chain industry is facing a whole bunch of challenges in 2023. The IFO Institute reported that 64% of companies have already experienced production shortages in the past 3 months. And get this, the semiconductor industry is one of the hardest hit, but it's not just about production. Finding and retaining workers in the logistics and transportation industries is becoming a major issue. In fact, 65% of service sector employees in the U.S. are having a hard time filling positions. Not surprising, though. With all the shipping congestion we've seen in the past few years and the current tension in the labor market, workers are demanding better pay and working conditions. Number 9. Slower growth and higher bankruptcy rates. If that wasn't enough, there's also a geopolitical energy crisis to deal with, especially in Europe. Allianz, an insurance company, is projecting a 20% increase in corporate bankruptcy due to profitability impact on energy-intensive industries. To make matters worse, the world's 3 largest economies, the U.S., the EU, and China, are all slowing down at the same time. This could lead to a situation where China's growth is equal to or lower than global growth, something that hasn't happened in 40 years. Allianz is projecting a 15% increase in bankruptcies in China and a 38% increase in the U.S. With such high interdependencies between the two countries, this could result in even more supply chain disruptions. Number 8. Cybersecurity threats. Cybersecurity threats and cyber attacks remain a significant concern for companies both large and small. The cybersecurity threat is real and it's coming your way. Despite big companies investing in cybersecurity, smaller ones are still at risk because they don't have enough visibility into the security of their information system. And the current semiconductor shortage is just reminding us of how independent and fragile the world economy is, making cybersecurity even more important. Here's the bad news. Trend Micro's research shows that over half of all companies have already been hit with a cyber attack on their supply chain. And it's only going to get worse in 2023, with hackers becoming more sophisticated in their attacks. They're looking to infiltrate supply chains to cause damage or steal from businesses. And the supply chain itself can provide an easy pathway for criminals to access a company's system, especially through vulnerable suppliers. But there's a catch. Investing in new technologies to reevaluate supply networks could also increase the risk of cyber attacks. So businesses of all sizes need to step up and protect their operations and supply chains. Stay vigilant and proactive in your approach to cybersecurity. Number 7. Rising geopolitical tension. Geopolitical tensions are leading to major supply chain disruptions, especially in agricultural and metals. Companies face shortages of key items, including fertilizers, grains, seeds, iron, lithium, and titanium. Over 370,000 firms across 25 countries rely on Russian suppliers, while 240,000 firms depend on Ukrainian supplies. The situation in Taiwan is particularly concerning, as the island produces 65% of the world's semiconductors and 90% of its chips. If a conflict were to occur, the impact on the global supply chain could be catastrophic. In preparation, the U.S. is reducing its imports from China. Number 6. Logistic nightmare. The logistics industry has certainly been facing its fair share of challenges in the recent past. The disruption in various forms of transport causing extended delays and impacting business operations. The shortage of qualified drivers and rising prices in the packaging sector only added to the difficulties. Unfortunately, it looks like these issues are expected to persist in 2023, making it harder for businesses to ensure the timely and seamless delivery of goods. Number 5. Volatile demand. To make matters worse, predicting consumer behavior and inflation has become more uncertain. leading to instability in the market. The bullwhip effect, which refers to the amplification of demand variability, is being exacerbated by distributors, leading to a critical situation in Europe with an average stock level of $80 billion in 2022, compared to $20 to $40 billion in 2020. The situation in the U.S. is also concerning, with a decline in consumer demand forcing businesses to experience financial losses. Number 4. Finding new suppliers and coping with increased competition. The global market has faced multiple challenges in 2022, leading to a logistics nightmare in the industry. Disruptions in various forms of transport, including sea and road transport, as well as the packaging sector, caused extended delays in the transportation of goods. The decline in consumption resulted in falling freight rates, and there was a shortage of qualified drivers, making it increasingly harder to ensure reliable transportation. The packaging sector also saw a rise in prices and faced delivery issues, impacting the efficiency and cost-effectiveness of several major companies. This logistic crisis is expecting to persist in 2023, with the global system still vulnerable to external interruptions, leading to businesses struggling to ensure the smooth and timely delivery of goods. The sudden pullback from discretionary purchases has led to an oversupply crisis, causing industry giants like Target to experience a 90% profit drop. Finding new and reliable suppliers is becoming increasingly hard, especially in the face of limited access to critical inputs. Commodity prices and availability, including fuel, construction materials, and packaging, may also become unpredictable, further exacerbating the risk faced by companies. Number 3. Extreme weather events and their impact on world economy. Extreme weather events can throw supply chains into a disarray. In 2022, incidents such as intense droughts, extensive floods, powerful storms, heat waves, and forest fires resulted in a significant economic loss of $268 billion in India. Meanwhile, the Mississippi River has experienced the biggest drop in water levels on record, leading to over 100 vessels being stuck. Number 2. Nations getting skeptical about cooperation and its effect on global trade and commerce. Nations are becoming increasingly inward-looking and skeptical about cooperation and interconnectedness due to worsening geopolitical tensions. In response, government officials and business leaders are investigating methods of domestic self-sufficiency or creating friend-shoring relationships to ensure a more secure supply of goods. Number 1. Stricter regulations in countries regarding trade. Supply chains are in a rough spot in 2023, with mounting obstacles to the flow of goods and services. The oversupply crisis, environmental disasters, extreme weather, and inward-looking nations are affecting the availability of crucial materials and causing increased competition and limited access to key inputs. Stricter regulations are also putting a squeeze on businesses, adding new compliance requirements, increasing operational costs, and raising the bar for regulatory scrutiny. This has led to longer lead times, increased inventory levels, and rising costs for consumers, pushing companies to adopt new technologies and processes. The trade outlook is grim, with global trade growth expected to slow to just 1.1% during the industrial recession, according to HSBC. The trade outlook for 2023 is not optimistic, painting a picture of the industry struggling against a combination of economic and regulatory hurdles. The shipping and freight market is facing a challenging future. The impact of this turbulence will be felt by businesses and consumers alike, making the road ahead long and uncertain. The industry must be prepared for difficulties that lie ahead. Businesses, governments, and financial regulatory bodies must be more careful in 2023 in preventing such disruptions to global supply chains, otherwise it could very well spell doom for the global economy. If you found this video thought-provoking and interesting, then hit the like button and subscribe to the channel today for more such videos.